We are at the International Builder Show, and I'm in the GP booth talking about Georgia Pacific Force Field. I'm about to lead a hands-on class in this, which I'm really excited about. We love working with sponsors. We love it when sponsors help us make the TV show, but it's even more fun when we can have this long-term relationship where we're working together and we're presenting. I actually, because I used to be a performer for a living, presenting is my favorite thing. Being on a film set is not my favorite thing. If you've ever been on a film set, you might have a clue of what I'm talking about. But anyway, this is just the kind of thing that I just really enjoy doing. So I've got actual tapes. I'm going to be taping things. I'm going to get people from the audience to come up and tape too. And it's going to be a real like one-on-one personal moment for us, because we obviously spend a lot of time with this product on our own build, which you will see in season 2 of Home Diagnosis and also on the YouTube channel, Home Performance. But I don't get to show people what it's like out there on my house. And so this is where we can have that forum of like talking about the little weird things that happen and the crazy little details that get in the way in real life when you've got this perfect, look at this thing. This like a promotional company made this prop. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. My wall looks nothing like that because my stuff sat out in the rain for a day and then, I waited for a day to tape it. And so anyway, all that stuff is what we talk about at these presentations, and I hope that if you are at the International Builder Show, you are here for this. I'm going to do Tuesday at 10 a.m. and Wednesday at 11 a.m. And then there's going to be other presentations here at the same thing. There's presentations all over this place. If you are in the building industry, you should really be coming here. There's so much to see, so much to talk about. It's really interesting. And we're at the Mitsubishi booth now. So Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating, Jim Clark. You know him and you love him from a video that we did on how to maintain your ductless mini split. Because just because this thing is an awesome piece of equipment, and it is, and we have one in the Tiny Lab, and we will be putting one of these into the studio, doesn't mean that it doesn't need any maintenance, right? Correct. Right. So Jim hooked us up with a diamond contractor who took this thing apart and he actually practiced on your house.
Yes, he did.
And so that video is referenced below if you want to see that. It's awesome. It's one of our most watched videos ever. You will have.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So, and I've had to clean it several times, and it's really interesting the relationship of the humidity and the conditioning and the surface temperatures and the indoor air chemistry and all the things that we've been learning about. Is there anything about this, aside from the fancy infrared sensor? And by the way, will you tell people what this thing does?
So this is a 3D sensor. Its job is to look for hot spots or cold spots in your house. The other job it has is that you can set it up so that it looks at humans. So if it sees a human in the room, it doesn't have to react, it just sees it at a hot spot. But if that human leaves, 15 minutes later, it's going to raise or lower your temperature by 4 degrees.
This one we already have. We know it. We love it. We're going to put this in the studio. Over here, though, you have a brand new... I wonder if we can sneak in. We're at an actual show. Did we mention that? So here is the split system. This is not ductless. It's not just going to blow into the room. We're going to put a duct system on this. It's going to go in the crawl space of the living space. What's special about this one that you just came
So
out
the
with?
really nice thing about this is our SVZ. We just added a new condensing unit that will be our hyperheat. That will get you down to about 80 to 90% capacity at minus 13 below zero. However, if you're in a climate where it gets below that, it'll automatically sense that, hey, I can't keep up with the temperature. It tells the condensing unit, I can't keep up anymore. So it turns these on for the temporary, to be able to heat the space until the temperatures come up above 13 below.
And this, by the way, is what you think it is. It is basically a toaster. You see this in our makeup air unit from Fantech at the house. This is a electric resistance coil, so it just heats up based on electricity. It's 100% efficient, which is actually a very inefficient way to heat. That's why we want to stick with the very elegant hyperheat inverter cycle that they've got on this system, and that's brand new, that hyperheat on the ducted system, which is great. So we won't have to do this because design temperature, the coldest it's ever going to get in Georgia, 99% of the time, is 20 degrees. So we're never going to get down to negative 14 or whatever it is. So we will not have to use this thing thanks to the research and development team. So let's keep on walking around. Thank you very much, Jim, for your time.
Well,
thank you for your work with the excellent
Love
stuff
you guys.
All right. Thank you. Star of the show, Matt Reisinger.
High performance stage.
Yeah. showing off some awesome exterior installation, some blower door stuff.
Hanging with good builders. Hanging with good builders.
First time builders get to hang out with Matt Reisinger at the Builder
First
Show.
time I've gotten
Well,
to
you guys are pretty famous. I don't know about first time.
Awesome.
Famous duo.
And if you're not familiar with the Build Show, you should be. So check that out. We're both fans of Rockwool and a bunch of other products. So we learn a lot from Matt. If you haven't seen the other Matt Reisinger videos on our channel, I will link them below.
Thanks, Corey.
And if you are here tomorrow, 10:30 Rockwool.
Yeah, 10:30 at the Rockwool
and
booth.
11
Come see
Georgia
me.
Pacific. So.
And when are you guys
busy
talking
day.
next?
11.
Tomorrow morning.
Like, people
Yep.
need to put their running shoes on.
Yeah, you better come to mine and then leave early.
All right.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
And we're in the most private place in this entire show. We're inside of a house in the Brown booth. This is Dave Jones.
Howdy.
Dave, what is this?
So this is our connected indoor air quality home. And what we're doing here is we've got a system that talks to the cloud and sensors in your home and then automatically turns on your fans in your range, in your bathroom, and your ERV. So a sensor in the kitchen, you're making bacon, guess what? There's some VOCs coming off that bacon, right? And so the sensor near your range hood is going to kick on and say, we got to do something about this. There's got to be some air removed out of the house, so your fan will kick on automatically.
And this is something that we talk about so much in home diagnosis on this YouTube channel, everywhere, every time we present, right? Is that this idea that people are the variable that's hard to control. So you can build the perfect house, and this is a perfect house that you build. It's a container home, which is very cool. And it's closed off and it's invitation only. We asked this guy for an
Special
invitation.
invite.
But once people move in here, they're gonna do crazy stuff. And also, we all have noses. And frankly, and you and I both know this, your nose is actually a better sensor than a lot of the sensors that you can buy today for a lot of this stuff. But that doesn't matter because maybe you're gonna smell it and not do anything about it. So what we're doing essentially is giving the house a bunch of noses so that it can do the knobs and the dials and the doohickeys and stuff.
That's exactly
instead
right.
of you worrying about it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And it'll learn too. And depending on the temperature outside, it'll look at what's going on and say, you know what, maybe it's not a good time to turn on the ERV. Maybe I don't need fresh air in. When I left home to come to the show, it was 1 degree. Probably not a good idea to bring fresh air then, right? Let's find a time when it's a little warmer throughout the day to bring that in. So a very smart, intelligent system that will really work with the family that's living in the home to figure out what the best scenario is for them and make sure that they have clean, fresh air 24/7.
Like a concierge or a butler.
Ooh,
A butler for fresh air.
Like it.
Awesome. You guys make sure that you are checking this out because Brown makes products that are not only great research and development, a lot of money going in there, they're very involved in HVI, the Home Building Industry, Home Ventilating Institute, excuse me, that certifies a lot of this stuff, and they take really seriously the performance of their stuff, but it's also not super expensive. These are not Lamborghini products. This is stuff that we have in the Tiny Lab. You're gonna see it installed in all kinds of different houses. We're actually gonna be installing an outdoor range hood from Brown that does some cool stuff. We're very excited about that. So make sure that you're staying tuned to this because these developments are very important. See this stuff on the outside of our house. We're at the Rockwool booth. This is Chris. Everybody loves Rockwool. That over there is Tom Silva from This Old House presenting on their booth stage, just like we're presenting at the GP stage. We're very excited about that. So what is going on here, Chris?
So right there is a open flame on the Rockwool comfort board, and as you can see, it's not burning. So it's an all natural material. It's made of ground stone, which gives it some unique qualities, like this, right? It's not burning.
And you can't get it wet either.
You can't get it wet,
Can't
so
drown
if it does get wet, the water runs right through it.
Awesome. And also no chemical additives to make it a bright, nice color because it's not important. That's not what it's about, right? So we're trying to make sure that it's chemically very non-reactive. Right? It's not going to help to detune the interior space for our family's health. So everything about this I really love. Obviously other people like this too. Make sure that you're investigating this because this is an important technology. The insulation that we use, everybody is very focused on foam lately. And foam has some qualities that you will hear more about in the dark side of Home Diagnosis Season 2. So make sure that you stay tuned to that. Thank you for your work.
Thank you so much, Corey.
And we'll see more of Rockwool soon. So make sure that you tune in for the rest of the content that we're going to be generating from this show. Comment, like, subscribe. Tune in next time.